Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen. The Batman Part 2 script is finished, it's done. Matt Reeves has also revealed some really quite interesting stuff actually to do with the Batman and the property itself being more on TV, which is, interesting, especially considering we just had the release of the Penguin. So I thought we'd take a look. I don't know what this says, for, I guess for DC in general and the sort of relationship Matt Reeves has with DC, but I think it is interesting nonetheless. So there was an interview with Entertainment Weekly, as you can clearly tell, as it says there. He revealed some interesting stuff. So, talking to Entertainment Weekly, the writer and director, Matt Reeves, started by addressing the franchise expansion from theatres to television, which I think is a worthwhile point. Because, of course, it started on the big screen and has now ended up on TV. It's like, is that a downgrade or not? After the Penguin released and I watched episode 1, I would say no. That was a bloody great episode. Didn't seem like they skimped on anything. Cinematography was superb. I always wanted to make sure that each of the movies that we did with Rob, that the central arc, the emotional arc of the story would be Batman and Bruce's. Then when I was talking to Warner Brothers about signing for TV, I said what would be exciting to me is to take characters where there's not enough real estate in a movie to cover their story in full and to really dig into them. Yeah, I mean that seems to be exactly what they've done with Penguin. Penguin, not in the Batman long enough, made such a great impact, right? Such a great impact. Colin Farrell, like Christ, really? It was him? What? Madness. And then, give him a whole show. I'm loving the Penguin so far. Like a whole hour of Oswald Cobb, that's his name now, waddling around doing his antics. It's great. It's genuinely great. So this is, I think, the best approach. I like this approach. I don't hate this approach at all. I want it to all be this sweeping Batman crime epic, Matt Reeves said. In the process of figuring out what something is, it evolves. When I was describing what it was that we wanted to do, I think HBO Casey Bloys didn't want us to be too protective of the marquee characters, as if we were only going to do those in the movies. I got it right at that moment. So one project that seemingly evolved at least a couple of times was a series set in the GCPD, revolving around a corrupt cop. We later heard it had ties to Arkham Asylum before it became a new show set entirely in the institution, which was, super weird. It's kind of just gone all over the place. So it says this. The things that we're talking about now are evolved versions of those things. Okay, interesting. It's not like that just didn't work. It was like, we need to evolve this. I would describe it less as something that didn't work out and more as something that is still along a path towards arriving at its destination. That makes sense. I mean, in pre-productions and, pre-production, the planning stage of something, they do evolve, they do change, ideas get thrown around. And also, I would assume some of the box office for the Batman would be influencing this. Not massively, but some of it would. Some people like to go around and say that, the Batman bombed. I don't think it bombed at all. I think I think Warner Brothers clearly thought it was great enough to make the Penguin. And then other things as well. And still continue with Matt Reeves, just generally speaking. So it says this. Reiterating that Batman doesn't appear in the Penguin, the filmmaker did admit that it's possible we'll see Robert Pattinson's Dark Knight on the small screen somewhere down the line. Now that's interesting. So it says this. That's not to say that there would never be an appearance by Batman or Bruce or something like that on a future series. Lauren and I did speak. Do we want to find a way to get Rob to somehow be in this show? But that was an afterthought. So that's to do with the Penguin specifically. But it is to say that he could appear in another show at some point. Oz does become one of the entry points into the movie. I can't tell you where it goes from there, except to say that we're super excited about it. And this is the Matt Reeves 2 script. So from what I've learned about this, from what various interviews, the Batman ends the Penguin picks up, and where the Penguin ends, the Batman Part 2 picks up. That sounds about right from what I can see from every single interview. This almost sounds the same. Oz is our entry point into the movie. The Batman Part 2, Oz is our initial point of view character. I mean, I think this is great. I think this is really, really cool. Really, really smart stuff. Really, really smart stuff. Look, ultimately, do you think that, you know, seeing Batman or Bruce Wayne on the small screen demeans that character? I don't think so. Not this type of Bruce Wayne and Batman. I think they've explicitly shown with the Penguin that it is still so expertly crafted, right? It doesn't look like a CW show, for instance. There is such a care to detail of very artistic choices with cinematography and lenses and color grading, right? Really, really intricate details have been chosen there. So I don't necessarily think seeing Batman or Bruce Wayne on that style is a downgrade. If anything, it's a natural evolution and continuation from the Batman. That's my personal opinion, because it just looks the bloody same. But yeah, I love this. Yeah, Batman Part 2 begins next year, production-wise. So that's great. I mean, it does mean we won't see it until at least 2026, which is, long old time away. Long old time away. I still can't get over the fact that this is Colin Farrell. I mean, that's bloody insane. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. That's madness. And so good as well to see that Oswald Cobblepot, Oscob, will be our entry point to Batman Part 2. I think it's a really cool sort of connection to everything, really. He's the thread that ties it all together to a degree. But there you go. Not much else really to say. I like this. A sweeping Batman crime epic. Love it. That is what I want. That's great. That's the way to do a connected universe. Just a crime thriller epic thing. Epic. Good. So there you go. What else do you say? I'm keen for this. Batman Part 2 begins production next year. Are you excited? Are you not? Did you like the Batman? I personally really like the Batman. I thought it was great. So I'm keen for this. I'm really, really keen. Let me know what you think down below. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye now.